This week marks the debut of Justin Rout's latest thriller, Armor, which will be available on digital platforms and in cinemas on November 22nd. The movie stars Josh Wiggins, Max, Walking Out, Blake Shields, Tekken, Heroes, Aaron Ownby, Ozark, Panhandle, Jason Patric, Narc, The Lost Boys, Sylvester Stallone, Rocky franchise, Creed, and Dash Mihok, Ray Donovan, The Thin Red Line. Adrian Speckert and Corey Todd Hughes wrote the screenplay, while Rout, If I Were Dictator, CIA Miami, directed the movie. The protagonists of the tale are James Brody, Patrick, and his son Casey Wiggins, security guards on armored trucks who move millions of dollars between banks. Hey everyone, hope you're having a good day. Before going to the main topic, I want to say like this video and subscribe to the channel. When a gang of robbers, led by Rook, Stallone, plans to take over their truck, their routine is upended. After an intense vehicle chase, James and Casey end up stranded on a dilapidated bridge, their truck hanging off the side. With little time left until the attackers burst in, James has to use all of his abilities to put his son's life before his own. In September 2023, the film was filmed in Waveland and Pearlington, Mississippi. Production was able to continue despite the 2023 SAG-AFTRA strike because the filmmakers were given temporary agreements. Collider is excited to provide our readers an exclusive look at the action to celebrate the film's release. When we first see the movie, Stallone is being pressured by his thugs to decide quickly to take the treasure out of the armored truck. Even though he is a guy who violates the law, he nevertheless has a strong moral code, as seen by his refusal to back down and his insistence that the plan proceed without further interference from the police or the loss of any more lives. At the moment, Stallone is starring in Taylor Sheridan's Yellowstone series, Tulsa King. Next year, Stallone will also be seen in Michael Polish's action criminal drama Alarum, which stars Willa Fitzgerald, Scott Eastwood, and Mike Coulter. Stallone also co-wrote the action thriller Levon's Trade, which is scheduled for publication in January 2025. Jason Statham plays Levon Cade, a former Black Ops operative who is called back into combat in the movie. The film's director is David Ayer, and other cast members include Michael Pena and David Harbour. Check out our exclusive preview of the film in the player above, and stay tuned to Collider for more updates on all your favorite films and television series. On November 22nd, Armor will make its day-and-date debut both digitally and in theaters. The last episode of Taylor Sheridan's Tulsa King Season 2 has some large shoes to fill after a string of lackluster episodes. Sylvester Stallone's Dwight is one aspect of this episode and the show overall that always gets it right, even though the finale falls short of making a lasting impression on television. The climax does touch on Dwight's coldness, demonstrating why he is the legitimate ruler of Tulsa, even though his character stands out because he has shown himself to be far more humanitarian than certain other well-known criminals in literature. Whether it was Chickie's passing or Thresher's departure, reconstruction was largely unimpressive even if it did wrap up a number of loose ends. The episode's most stunning moment was probably the New York mafiosos being shot in the middle of a sentence, but it didn't really touch home because his character didn't really grow during the season. However, it did highlight Dwight's ruthlessness as a mobster because he didn't even bat an eyelid when he saw Chickie being murdered by Bill. Furthermore, given that Dwight has long been hampered by the New York mobster, this suggests that Bill's scheme to take Chickie out may have involved Sylvester Stallone's mafia leader. Regarding Bill, it was implied that he knew Chickie had murdered his father, which may have motivated Frank Grillo's character to plot Chickie's demise alongside Dwight. If accurate, this strengthens Dwight's expertise in the criminal underground, which makes sense considering his decades of experience. Dwight, played by Sylvester Stallone, is not like Tony Soprano, another mafia legend, even if he is a possible criminal mastermind. Terrence Winter, who is in charge of both shows, previously explained that White is fundamentally far more rational than Tony, who had a tendency towards psychopathic tendencies. It will be intriguing to watch how Dwight's tale develops in the upcoming possible addition to the program, given the second season ended on an intriguing cliffhanger. The way the Tulsa King can explain upcoming spin-off series and how Dwight Manfredi's Sylvester Stallone criminal enterprise might go far beyond Oklahoma was expertly stated by Chickie Invernizzi, Dominic Lombardozzi. Since his initial visit to Oklahoma, Dwight's criminal empire has already expanded considerably, thanks to Tulsa King. Dwight's companies have evolved from basic extortion to an interstate marijuana market, and the cast of Tulsa King has grown to include new allies and adversaries. As Season 3 of Tulsa King approaches, the program is probably searching for new ways to grow. Fortunately, Chicky provided Tulsa King with the ideal strategy for growing and improving, and it doesn't involve merely carrying on Dwight's tail. Tulsa King might start producing spin-offs, similar to a number of other Taylor Sheridan television programs. Tulsa King has mostly relied on Sylvester Stallone's star power, so it hasn't been immediately apparent how the series could create a whole spin-off without him. That's the only issue with that concept. However, Chicky provided justification for it in the Season 2 finale of Tulsa King, and it's possible that the show's makers would utilize his setup. In Tulsa King Season 2, just before Chicky was slain by Bill Bevilacqua, the New York mobster revealed a scheme for Dwight to grow his criminal empire. In other cities, Dwight and Bill might franchise their gang members to do what Dwight did in Tulsa, create a mob from the ground up, as Chicky clarified. Presumably, Bill was the only traditional mobster active west of the coast, and his sole apparent focus was Kansas City. Dwight has a city in mind, and vast tracts of America are poised for him to seize power. A Tulsa King spinoff set in New Orleans is reportedly in the talking stages of development, according to Terrence Winter, the show's principal writer. Given that his companies in Tulsa are now real, Chicky's franchise concept would be the ideal approach to explain Dwight's decision to expand to Louisiana. Despite his downward trajectory, Chicky's idea made a lot of sense. Dwight can continue to operate his lawful companies in Tulsa, but he can exploit his criminal background to expand his gang from a one-city operation to a multi-state conglomerate. The ideal rationale for the spin-off show would be to use Chicky's franchises to bring Tulsa King to new states and localities. Some of Dwight's gang members, such as Tyson, J. Will, and Goody, Chris Caldovino, could start a new gang under his leadership. Since they would probably require Dwight's help with some of the issues they encounter, having Dwight's people manage a new gang would also be the ideal method to keep Sylvester Stallone involved in the spin-off. In the New Orleans spin-off, even Frank Grillo's character Bill Bevilacqua might play a part akin to Dwight's. Chicky's proposal to franchise the Mafia has the potential to grow Tulsa King in addition to Dwight's business. Tulsa King creator Taylor Sheridan has been searching for a successor to his largest property, Yellowstone. The Dutton family's narrative has already been expanded into a lengthy saga by a number of Yellowstone offshoot series, but now that the program is coming to an end, Sheridan might be searching for another of his shows to become a franchise. Tulsa King might be that brand if Dwight is able to expand his illegal enterprise throughout the United States. Although Chicky's franchise plan would allow Dwight to relocate to any city he desired, with the exception of New York, Tulsa King is now targeting New Orleans. Tulsa King could simply launch a whole network of interconnected gangs dispersed around the United States if the initial spinoff proves to be successful. Additionally, since each city would be governed by a distinct set of personalities and deal with a different set of underlying issues, there would be more than enough diversity to support a spin-off series. Chicky's franchise strategy is only constrained by the level of spectator interest. Tulsa King has never had trouble creating interest, as seen by Season 2's perfect score of 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Future Tulsa King spin-offs might start to feel a little formulaic, which is the only drawback to employing Chicky's strategy to franchise the Mafia. There can only be so much variation in a gangster program, even though every city would have its own police, competing gangs, and other intriguing issues to contend with. Although Dwight can probably grow to a number of American cities, Tulsa King might eventually reach a point where it is no longer worthwhile to do so. However, that appears to be a long way off. Therefore, for the time being, Tulsa King's future appears to be extremely promising. Let us know in your comments. And stay tuned by subscribing our channel to get more updates like this. Thanks everyone.